Hi there! Today I had a great comment to one of my old videos about meditation, and I thought it would be funny to tell you this story from my own life from almost 10 years ago about transcendental meditation and what happened when I decided to go and see a local transcendental meditation teacher. But before we go into this story, which is quite funny, I want to tell you a little channel update, things. I got the new Brian Wilson Beach Boys book by David Leaf, or the new issue of this one, retitled God Only Knows. It seems great. I haven't been able to read it at all yet, but it's very thick and has a lot of text, so it's definitely worth the money. And I heard that they mention Giggins here, which is great. I love his channel, so it's really great that he gets a mention here. And then I also got the UK version of the Long Promised Road documentary, Blu-ray. I love it. I checked the deleted scenes already, but I haven't been revisiting this in a while. But I'm still planning on making a review of this one as well. So a lot of cool things coming on this channel. I don't think I'll be reviewing the new box set, Sounds of Summer, because I thought about it and I did listen to the new mixes and I just figured that it's not for me, and there's really no point for me to criticize it for 30 minutes, so I'm just gonna skip it. But anyway, let's go straight into this story. This happened in Helsinki, the capital of Finland, and at least around this time I think there was only this one instructor or teacher of transcendental meditation in the whole country. I'm not sure what the situation is today, but this happened almost 10 years ago, so whatever. The address of this place was, it was basically the home of this teacher. So there was this website about these conferences or whatever you want to call them. Basically like these basic information lectures that are free for everyone, and they advertised it that this is the address and it's completely free, and you can come and decide after the lecture whether you want to continue to actually train for TM or not. So I went with my roommate. We were living in this apartment, like this what you call these dorm, kind of like a study dorm. Wasn't a college, but you know what I mean. So with my roommate we went there because we both were fans of David Lynch, who has been a huge transcendental meditations speaker. He has been spreading it all over the world, and obviously Beach Boys, Beatles, all these musicians talking about it for years inspired me to go there and see what it's all about. So we went there. We had a trouble first finding the place. When we found it finally, it was kind of dark, gloomy, winter. I think it was like November or something, so it was very dark and moist and cold. I finally got there, and then there was this buzzer downstairs, and we thought we pressed the right button, but I think we pressed the wrong one anyway. There came this old man, kind of like straight from a David Lynch film, hunched up, and he was like, "Oh, where are you going?" And it was kind of weird. And we explained that we were to see this TM guy or whatever. And he let us in, and we went in. It was this old building, like this apartment building. We went upstairs, like, I don't know, maybe a few floors. It had this big stairwell, kind of like straight from Twin Peaks or something. This really or a Hitchcock film. It was like really kind of scary atmosphere. And then we knocked on the door, and then this pale guy opened the door, like this maybe. It was hard to say the age of the man. He was maybe 50 or 60 or maybe even older, but he was very pale. He had these beige socks, I think, and like this kind of, he was smiling like kind of like, you know, you see those Indian gurus or Maharishi himself, he has this smile. So he was like very calm, smiling, and talked very calmly and silently. He welcomed us in, and the apartment itself, it was his home and his wife's home. It was very nice. They were very nice. They offered us tea, some special tea, and there was this room with some sort of projector, and then there was a lot of benches, stools, and we were like, where are all the rest of the people? And the other guy asked him if like, are we the only ones here? And he was like, yeah. And then he asked, how many people you usually get in these lectures? And he said, well, one is a pretty good number, and now there's two, so that's great. And we were like pretty awkward in that situation. We were like, okay, cool. So then he started to lecture about TM for us, and okay, well, maybe I need to take a little pause here because I might sound a little bit, I'm telling you this story. I'm amused by it, and I don't mean to give you the impression that I think that the transcendental meditation itself is a hoax or anything like that. I'm just talking about my experience with it. So if you have been practicing it and you really like it and it works for you, that's great. I'm not trying to, down speak it or make it sound like it's a complete hoax. But anyway, let's continue with the story. He showed us these images and these presentation, graphics and all kinds of pseudo-science things about some, like, there was like this ocean level, and then there was this transcendent thought, and he constantly said that this is scientific and this is scientific, but there were no references to anything, and the whole situation was kind of really weird. And he talked a lot about Maharishi, and there was like pictures of Maharishi, framed pictures of him all over the apartment, and there were like candles, and everything was kind of like in a church. It was kind of weird. Like, it reminded me a lot about these religious, what you call them, these things that don't usually end well, these groups, and the feeling was just very strange. I've never felt anything quite like that before or since, even though there even wasn't a lot of people there, but maybe that was part of it. And he showed a lot of pictures of David Lynch, for example, how he's, tried to use these celebrities to sell the meditation program. So he talked maybe 2 hours, and we were getting really tired, and then at the end of it he just gave us these, basically like these papers, where he gave us the papers and pencils, and he was like, okay, now sign these and then we'll continue from this. And we were like, well, wait a minute, like, we just wanted to hear the free lecture, like. And he was like very pushy. No, usually these are signed right after this one. So this is like part of your, and it was kind of strange because on the website it said clearly that this is free for everybody and there is no, like, need for purchasing anything or whatever. And then at the actual event, he was like very pushy, like, no, this is part of your program, this is like the first part of it, and then you're gonna have to pay, I think it was like 400 euros. I might be remembering it wrong, so I'm not like, don't quote me on that, but I think it was like 400 or 500 euros, which adds up to like $700 US dollars, something like that. So it was like very expensive, and we were, studying. We were like poor students at that time, so we didn't have that kind of money. We both found it interesting, but at the same time, just kind of, I don't know. It felt like the whole thing was just planned to kind of like use the celebrities to lure people in, and then use this pseudo scientific, graphics and stuff, all these mumbo jumbo things, to make it sound like that it's somehow so much more beneficial and better than other meditation programs and methods. And then the way he pushed the actual, like, to sign it and to pay for the thing was kind of outputting, off-putting. How do you say that? And he it was kind of like he didn't want to let us go, and we were like very like, no, like, thank you, but like, we have to think about this, we can't like just decide. So, and he didn't let us go before he wanted to have like our names and addresses and everything, and phone numbers, and we didn't want to give those, but he only then let us go when we gave him like our emails. It was like very strange. So I never ended up buying the thing. And meditation for me anyways, I see meditation as this practice that has a lot of different methods and areas, like, and people call this, some people call it meditation, and some people call it relaxation or ASMR or whatever, but I think that the same results can be achieved by a lot of things. You don't have to go to a TM teacher and pay for a very expensive practice, this thing, which the funny thing about it was that it was like, I think it was like one other, like, just a common, get together lecture, and then there was like a 1 hour meeting with the teacher one by one, where he gives you then the secret mantra. So I think that was pretty much it. And if you wanna go for that, and you have the money, go for it. I'm not saying anybody that you shouldn't do it, but it wasn't for me. I personally find my relaxation and my meditation in the nature. I go for a lot of hikes, and I'm a wildlife photographer and fisherman. I love fishing and all that stuff. So when I go out in the nature, I experience pretty much what I think a lot of the people who meditate experience. And I also use a lot of ASMR videos to get myself into that, calm mood of kind of like at the, when you, it's you almost fall asleep, but then your consciousness, stays in the level that you're not sleeping, but you can kind of see in the dream world. That's kind of like how I see, what happens when you're meditating at best. And I can get there without any drugs or actual meditation programs. So, there are a lot of ways to, I'm not sure if I explained that right. My English is kind of struggling because I haven't been talking it since my last video on this channel. So that's probably a month or two ago already, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed this story. If you have any experiences with meditation or TM, I would love to hear about that, because as I said, like, my thoughts about it are kind of you know, it's two-sided really. In the other hand, I'm sure that it helps a lot of people, and in the other hand, and the other hand, you know, it's like a lot of my heroes, so to speak, have been talking about it for decades and practicing it and teaching it and all that. So it's a strange thing, and then my own experience with it is another thing. It felt really weird and kind of scary almost. So I don't know, but it would be very cool to hear about you if you have any experiences with TM, or anyway, like what do you think about the whole subject? Because I've been trying to search information more deeply about Maharishi and the whole movement, but I don't know if there is like good books about it. And I mean like not books selling the method, but like these objective books that would like, you know, study the whole movement and also, you know, criticize it if it's necessary, you know. I would love to read about it more, because I've been trying to do online searches about it, but all I seem to be finding is like very controversial, you know, opinions. But then it's really hard to decide what is actually true and what is false. So that's always tricky when you're, you know, doing these online studies. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been kind of lazy to do videos lately because I'm always very stressed up about my, you know, appearance and how I speak and how I light my videos and the audio and all that. And I've always been kind of, I want to do like a presentation that is actually watchable and, you know, entertaining. And I also would like that the image quality would be decent and the lighting in the video would be more or less, you know, acceptable. But it's also a problem. It's nice to have the standards, but then again it's a problem for me as a content creator, because they kind of cripple me and make me more, you know, slow doing the videos. The whole process gets pretty heavy and tricky. So I tried now kind of like a little bit different approach, just to do a one unedited video without any extra lightings. I'm just, you know, going with the room lighting here and nothing fancy. So I would love to hear about that as well. Did you enjoy this video, and do you think it really matters that much, you know, the lighting stuff and all that, or not? So I don't know. But anyway, I can't wait to get to, you know, this book and all that. Thanks for watching, and take care. Bye bye.